Hi, I'm Tori, and I just finished reading Going Postal by Terry Pratchett. This is, I think, book number 33 or something like that in the Discworld series. If you're not familiar with Discworld, it's a wonderful, magical, hilarious fantasy universe, and you can kind of pick up anywhere. You can start, like, some books are better to start at than others, but really you can start anywhere and just dive in and love Discworld. So I've read probably a third of the Discworld novels, and Terry Pratchett has passed away, so there will be no more. So I try really hard to savor them and just let myself read one a year or so, just kind of slowly savor them and try a new one. This was exciting for me for a couple reasons. It was the first Discworld book I listened to as an audiobook instead of reading. I have previously read all of them as paper books. They're one of the few book series that I still collect the paper editions of, just because I love how unique they all look. And there's just so much beautiful cover art that different artists have made, and I love collecting them. But this one I tried as an audiobook for the first time. And also, it was the book that my boyfriend and I chose to buddy read. We've been kind of alternating, picking books. I read his favorite series with him, and then I wanted to pick something for him to read. So we started with a book that I had not read in an arc that I had not read. So this is like the start of this character's arc. So it was kind of fun because it's a world that I'm really familiar with, but I had not actually read this book or seen this main character before. There are a couple different audio editions of this book available. We chose the ones narrated by Richard Coyle with footnotes by Bill Nye, and I really enjoyed it. It was a little bit different experience. I think when I read them myself, I tend to laugh more and just like soak in the humor more, because so much of the humor is just like quick little quippy, fast-paced things that you don't really notice. And so with the audio narration, I didn't stop and pause like I would kind of go, oh, that's funny. And so I didn't find myself like laughing throughout the book quite as much as I usually do when I read it. But also the drama of the story seemed much more intense. And so this is a fantasy world. There is like high stakes, and we're fighting to get things done, even if it's not a traditional fantasy book. And so I still, I felt a lot of that drama more than I would have with the paper version of the book. So that was an interesting experience. I really did enjoy this story. This is the story of a convicted criminal who is now going to be running the government post office, which hasn't worked in years. And so it's a hilarious kind of commentary on government waste and the ridiculous things that governments do. And it's kind of a second chance story of redemption. There's a hilarious little storyline about stamp collecting. And then it also kind of focuses on the juxtaposition of modern technology and advancements versus the old and reliable things that aren't as like full of instant gratification, but that still work very consistently. So it was really fun. I enjoyed all of that. You have all of these themes going on, but it's still sprinkled in with all this humor. It's so much fun to see our story narrated by this ex-con, and I really enjoyed it. It was a slightly different flavor than some of the other Discworld novels I've read. My favorite are the Witches arc, which are mostly in like small towns and things like that. And this was more like big city politics in this heart of Ankh-Morpork. And it was really fun to experience that. It was really fun to introduce this world to someone new and see his opinions on it. And I really enjoyed this book. I do listen to audio much more than I read, but I still really like reading the books as well. And I reread Discworld all the time. So I might go through and read some of the books. I might read this in paper later and see if I pick up on different things, or listen to some of my favorites as audio and see how that translates.